Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Nate here with 7 Run Aquatics, coming at you with a quick beginning of the week, I guess, video. Just wanted to show you all kind of what I got done yesterday, me and my buddy, and talk about maybe some plans that I have and some stuff that's going to be happening later this week. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera around and we'll get started. Okay, so as you can see, some stuff has gone down here. Even over here, you know you have a problem when you start turning tanks, and I'm putting my finger in front of the lens for some reason. When you start putting tanks like this. And I still have a whole empty row up here. But essentially, the problem I was having was the tanks were just too close together. I originally had envisioned the stand that I had before as kind of a stair step kind of thing where I could easily get into the front of the tanks, but it just didn't turn out that way, or at least quite that way. It worked on some of them, didn't on others, and the 10 gallons were easier to get to, but the middle 20 over here was just horrendous to get to, and I mean, even to get the filter off of to do some maintenance on that was just horrendous. So the change had to be made to go with a taller stand, which is what I obviously did here. And I'm loving it so far. I actually moved the stand out. If we go around here to the side, I think my water pump is on over here, so you might hear a little bit of that. But the wires back here are a little bit better. We still have a horrendous mess of air pumps up there. But if you look right here, I've got my PVC zip tied in. We got the end cap on down there. And then coming down here is where we're going to have the air pump that is going to be powering most of these tanks. I'm still going to keep the aqua clears on it, or at least on the 15, the 20s, and all that good stuff. But for the most part, this whole room is going to be run on air. The pump that I got is a diaphragm air pump. I was looking at the linear piston air pumps, but just for my taste and for my needs right now, they're a little too expensive for my liking. So that's on the way. I got about 50 feet of airline tubing and some air control valves in the mail also. That should be here tomorrow. So maybe I'll do a little video of the unboxing of that or something when I get home for the day. But we also have a couple more tanks that are going to be going up for fry and for different breeding projects I'm going to be doing. So far I've just stuck with the Apistogramma. I think I'm going to go with maybe one species of Corydoras. I know I have the Paleotis down in this tank over here, but I'd like something a little more interesting than just your run-of-the-mill Paleotis Cory cat, even though they are really cool fish. So I think in the 5 gallons, or maybe in that 10 gallon down there, I know I might get a little backlash on this, but I'm thinking of doing some German blue rams or electric blue rams. And I think with my experience with the Apistogrammas, originally I'd only kept them in 10 gallons, and I'd always had good luck with them. And ideally, yes, you do want them in a 20 gallon, but for my sake, the 10 is going to have to work. And I'm just going to watch the aggression levels a little bit. If it gets to be too much, I might change my mind on it. But for now, that's the plan. Also, if we go over here, my little crazy DIY rig here. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. Let me flip the light on. Might be too much glare still though. If we look in here, that's coming through a little bit. There's approximately probably 150 to 200 angelfish eggs in here. I finally went ahead and pulled the angelfish eggs out of the show tank, because I think when the eggs hatched and they became wigglers in the show tank, they would always lay them on that filter tube, and they would just get sucked up into the filter. So I went ahead, and they were actually pretty easy to brush off. I brushed them off, most of them, onto the little terracotta dish you see there. Put them in this 1 gallon cookie jar, and put some airline tubing in there. Some of them still kind of went bad, as you can see. Maybe they just weren't fertilized, or I don't know. Didn't put enough methylene blue in to stop the fungus from forming. But we have, I think I counted about 70 right here. If we look, if I can zoom without, it's not going to work. But there's about probably close to 100 back there, and then there's just a bunch kind of scattered around the sides. just from me messing with the airline tubing. But yeah, so we got those guys going. I'm really excited about them. They're probably going to go in a little 5-gallon tank eventually, and maybe a 10-gallon once they're really growing out. But Corey from Aquarium Co-op did a recent video on a gentleman that he knows, and one of the ideas that came up in the video was these little bins. Now the guy in the video used really old TV dinner trays, and he just kind of cut a little hole there and used some nylon stocking to allow water through. But these are going to be, I think I got 3 of them, these are going to be floating in a tank, and essentially just the really tiny fry are going to be in here to grow out a little bit before they go. You guys see my nephew there. They're going to be in there for a little bit, and before they go in an actual tank themselves. So I'm really excited about everything that's going on. Shout out to Rachel O'Leary for kind of helping me get all these thoughts that I have going on in my crazy lunatic fish head, getting all those thoughts out into practice here. So really excited about the future of this little rack here. And I guess the last thing I can show you is that even through all the moving around and stuff yesterday, I guess technically you could call it a water change day. My female cockatoides is in there, and she has about 50 to 60 eggs on her right now. Hopefully she doesn't eat them, or whatever's happening to them doesn't happen again. But anyway, with that said, I'm Nate with 7 Rod Aquatics, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Later.